Good afternoon, everyone. The MAG Regional Council Executive Committee meeting is now called to order. For those around the table, please turn on your microphone when speaking. For those participating via Zoom, Alexis, please state your name when making a comment or asking a question. The MAG public comment process allows members of the public to comment on items on today's agenda or on items that fall under MAG's jurisdiction. If you'd like to comment at today's meeting, please fill out a white request to speak card located on the information table in the hallway and give it to MAG staff. If you parked in the garage, parking validators are available. If you purchased a transit ticket to come to the meeting, please see staff for a ticket. Hearing assisted devices are available for MAG staff. We will now begin the meeting with a roll call of all members.
Thank you, Chair and members of the Executive Committee. I will go down the list of members. Please unmute and indicate if you are present. Mayor Gallego? Here. Thank you. Mayor Giles?
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Hartke? Mayor Hermosillo?
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Osborne?
Present.
Thank you. Mayor Peterson?
Here.
Thank you. Our chair is present. Is there anyone whom I missed? Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have quorum.
Thank you. Would you all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Do we have any cards?
Mr. Chair, we have not received any cards for public comments.
Thank you. Item number 4 is consent agenda. Are there councilors who wish to have, or any committee members who wish to have an item removed from consent agenda for separate consideration? Seeing none, can I get a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. Mayor Hermosillo.
So I have a motion from Mayor Osborne, a second from Mayor Peterson, correct? And there was no one online who wanted to speak on, who wanted to make a comment, correct? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Is that good enough for you guys? Okay, you want to do roll call? Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the Executive Committee. I will go down the list of members participating virtually. Please unmute and indicate how you vote. Mayor Hermosillo?
Aye.
Mayor Giles?
Aye.
Thank you. Is there anyone whom I missed? Mayor Hartke, I see you're on. How do you vote?
I vote aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The
everyone.
motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you. Kevin, good seeing you. John, good seeing you. Eric, number 5, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members of the MAG Executive Committee. We have Amy Epley here this afternoon, or this morning, I guess, to talk about the development of our biannual work program, which is under development for fiscal year 24 and fiscal year 2025.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. Can I interject something?
Sure.
I apologize. I'm joining the meeting remotely today because in a few minutes I'm joining an event with the First Lady before she leaves town. So I'm afraid I have a window of about 10 minutes before I need to leave the meethe For that reason, I'm wondering if you would consider going to the executive session item because that's the purpose for my joining the meeting today.
Understood. Yeah, we can do that. Anybody have an issue with that? All right. Let's go ahead. Can I get a motion to adjourn to executive session, please? Second. I have a motion from Mayor Peterson, a second from Mayor Gallego. Those in the room, please vote. Aye.
Aye.
You do a roll call of the members.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will do a roll call of members participating virtually. Please unmute and indicate how you vote. Mayor Giles. Mayor Hartke. They've been put in the breakout room. Oh, thank you. I will please unmute and indicate how you vote. Mayor Giles.
I'm
Mayor-
sorry, aye.
Thank you. Mayor Hartke.
Aye.
Thank you. Mayor Hermosillo.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries.
Kevin, Alexis, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
I felt like NASA with Apollo 13. They're coming back through the atmosphere. Houston. We will now resume the regular meeting of the MAG Executive Committee. So I want to see if the committee is amenable to the following action. With
Yeah.
well, we haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
Just for the record, so amenable to appointing Ed Zerker as the transitional executive director to work side by side with Eric until Eric's retirement happens for a term of 2 years, fiscally July 1st, but transitioning as soon as Ed can come on board with ratification by the regional council at the next meeting, which is next week.
Yes, Chairman, I motion to put Ed Zerker as the next transitional executive director for MAG on the regional council agenda for a short-term contract of 2 years.
Second.
I have a motion from Mayor Hermosillo, a second from Mayor Peterson. Those in the room, please vote. Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Do you mind doing roll call of?
Thank you, Chair and members of the Executive Committee. I will go down the list of members participating virtually. Mayor Hartke.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Hermosillo.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Giles. Mayor Giles is not here, and the motion passes.
Thank you, everyone. I will reach out to Mr. Zerker as my capacity as chairman and let him know that this process will begin. Okay. Sam, did we miss anything?
Yes, could we, just so the record's clarified, do you want to have a discussion as to the negotiation of any contract for Mr. Zerker?
Correct. Correct.
And if you, I think if you'd like to entertain a motion or on that, we can include that as well.
Okay. Alexis, do you mind making that motion? That we are enter into discussion with Mr. Zerker.
Yes, I motion to enter into a discussion with Ed Zerker for the next position of executive director.
Well, let me back up for a
And
minute, Mr.
Could I
Chair.
just discuss how we might do it?
That would be,
So
thank you,
Mayor Hartke, Mayor Peterson, and I served at Valley Metro when we began our process. And our thinking at the time was that the legal counsel for whom the new leader would work needed to be involved, but should not be the lead in the negotiations. So we turned to Maricopa County to serve as our lead administrator, and their human resources supported us. And then the agency staff supported Maricopa County. So I guess I move that we ask Maricopa County to lead the human resources side of negotiation with support from MAG legal counsel and staff.
Okay, second. Mayor,
Thank you. I have a motion from Mayor Gallego, a second from Mayor Hermosillo. Sam, does that work for you?
Yes, it works. Thank you.
Okay. Again, let's go ahead and do it again. All those in favor in the room, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. You do roll call, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the Executive Committee. I will go down the list of members participating virtually. Mayor Hartke.
Aye.
Thank you. Mayor Hermosillo.
aye.
Thank you. The motion carries.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's go back to item number 5.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the Executive Committee for letting me present today on the fiscal year 24 and 25 biennial Unified Planning Work Program and Budget. MEG is in the process of developing the 2-year budget. We begin presenting the UPWEP in January and will continue to provide updates through May when the final draft is presented for approval. This month, MEG is presenting and updated draft dues and assessments and draft fiscal year 24 and 25 new and ongoing projects. Next slide, please. In your agenda package, you will find attachment A, which is the fiscal year 24 and 25 draft dues and assessments. In this, the fiscal year 24 dues and assessments includes an increase to the 911 assessment of $92,416 to cover a portion of the costs associated with the independent review of the region's 911 system which was approved by Regional Council in January. MEG is paying these costs in fiscal year 23, but we will be recouping a portion of these costs in fiscal year 24 only with this increased assessment. In fiscal year 25, the rates include an update to the actual 12-month consumer price index for all urban consumers of 8.0167%. Next slide, please. In your agenda package, you will see attachment B, which is a proposed new project. And we have various details for the project, including the name, description, the cost, the time, and MEG core area of focus. Next slide, please. That concludes my updates for the upward for fiscal year 24 and 25. And I'll be happy to take any questions.
Are there any questions? Mayor Gallego?
A couple quick comments. Very excited that we'll continue to work with innovative technology. We've gotten great support as a region and have really led the way. And so appreciate MAG's work in that, as well as making sure we use our universities and some great safety programs. Excited that we're moving forward with the changes in 911. There's amazing technology out there that can help us save lives so much more effectively and also update to the fact that it's not just people calling on a landline anymore, and there's many different platforms that people want to use. Appreciate the innovation we did with text to 911, and I think we're just getting started with that innovation. Understand there's now ability to be much more precise in locating a cell phone calling 911, and that we will have chances to meet the demands of our region in doing so and help our first responders, particularly if someone is in a crisis, locate them much more quickly. And so just want to express my optimism for many things we're doing in this work plan.
Thank you, Mayor. Anyone else? Alexis, any questions?
No, thank you.
Kevin, any questions?
None from me.
Thank you. Eric, item number, hold please. Item number, did I miss item number 8? What? It says 9 on mine though.
Mine says 9 also.
I was like, what did I miss?
The
Eric,
next item,
next item, please.
the next item on our agenda is the legislative update to Nathan Pryor. Present this item. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the executive committee. Next slide, please. First, make it. Talk about a federal issue first of all. Had an opportunity to go back to Washington, D.C. about a month ago, in conjunction with the National Association of Regional Councils. Had an opportunity then as well to do a number of visits on Capitol Hill with both Senate offices and a number of House offices. One of the issues brought forward was conversation regarding fast-growing states. So this is one of our federal issue papers that we updated and posted recently. But this has to deal with how formula fundings are kind of put together, if you will. So there's a number of programs that are dependent on these formula funds. Just a few example: National Highway Performance Program, Surface Transportation Block Program, Highway Safety Improvement Program, a few others. But since 2000, since the late 2000s, and there's the issue paper up there, we've been subject to federal formulas that tie our apportionment back to factors related to 2000 census, for example, also our lane miles of federal aid highways from 2007. So this is a little bit of a black box, arguably, with USDOT. So what's being proposed here by Senator Kelly and co-sponsored by Senator Cruz is a study. So let's open up the federal formula funding and take a look at it and make sure that we are positioned to use more recent data, census information, the most recent decennial, for example. We simply can't be tied to data that's over 20 years old in our fast growing state and region. So appreciate Senator Kelly's effort on this. He did introduce this last year. Obvious challenge to this is it pits kind of winners and losers in this. those slow and low growth states versus states in the Sun Belt, Intermountain West. But, right now we're the losers in this. So this needs to be corrected. So appreciate Senator Kelly's efforts in this. Also, a companion bill was introduced while this is a study, the Highway Formula Fairness Act, which kind of jumped to the end, if you will, that has a much more challenging road in Congress. So we're hopeful that hopefully that the study effort can get underway and we can update those federal funding formulas to be more reflective of conditions here and now. So just a note on that one. Next slide, please. Of course, we continue to focus on extension of Proposition 400. Thank you to the chair for providing testimony this morning, to the Senate Transportation Technology Committee. Even during the executive session here a few minutes ago, the amendments were still being discussed and voted on. So I don't have an outcome for you at this moment, but great input from stakeholders, not just this week, but also last week, especially in opposition speaking to 1122, which simply does not support implementation of our regional adopted transportation plan. We have been focusing our attention and energy on the 1505, more reflects the bill that was made it through House and Senate last year, ultimately vetoed by then Governor Ducey. So we're gonna continue on. Appreciate the chair's involvement, member agencies' involvement, stakeholders. So lots more to come on this front. Mr. Chairman, that completes my presentation. I'm happy to address any questions.
So I was commenting, I got a text from an InterGov as I was here saying that, did Senator Farnsworth actually admit that he would not vote for his own bill if it came up in a general election?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I might have missed that
Yeah.
part. There was a lot of conversation, so yeah.
I knew it would be, too bad John's not here. I assumed it was going to be contentious. I didn't realize the contentious was going in between people sitting next to one another on the committee, just outright disdain for each other. And I thought, wow, how do you even get anything done? So it was interesting. So we'll have a vote on this today. We'll know if 1122 moves forward.
Correct, Mr. Chairman.
You had to look at your crystal ball now. What would you say?
I think it's going to advance in some form and probably be subject to conversation, negotiation if I had to hedge my bets.
Thank you, Nathan. Item 10 or 9, depending on which sheet you have, is future agenda items. Are there anyone who'd like to have something put on a future agenda? Hearing none. Item 10 or 11, depending. Comments from the committee. Would you like to speak about the weekend that you had and the weekend the Valley had?
I feel like our valley really signed. So we had 4 tribal communities and 9 cities that partnered on the Super Bowl, while our peers in Scottsdale were hosting WM Open. And I feel like we put on a great show and an impression, and regional transportation assets from the freeways to the light rail hit records. Very pleased to report, apparently at Sky Harbor, there's a 5-minute wait for security, but a 2-hour wait for the Amex Lounge. But the security is not, the security is our
The Amex Lounge,
yeah,
not
that's
yours?
not my, so I think we're still continuing to do a good job celebrating the Valley, and it looks like we are heading towards $1 billion economic impact. So good state shared revenue, as Mayor Wires always likes to
That's awesome.
remind us. And Sunday was really Glendale's day to shine, and I think
You did a good
they
job.
did. But didn't we all like seeing those skylines and
The weather was
vistas of
perfect.
Arizona? Yes.
I didn't watch a minute of the game.
Really?
Not
Wow.
a minute.
We'll have a conversation after.
You're not alone, Bridget.
Thank you,
It
Alexis. I
started
knew
with
I
the
loved you,
wonderful
Alexis.
Mesa residents doing.
I did go back and watch the video of the national anthem. So I
That
did
was
see our
awesome.
Mesa
Yeah,
residents.
people crying. That was great.
So Nathan just whispered in my ear that 1122 just failed.
That's why Liz is calling me. So, and I don't want to get too deep in the woods, but if you're trying to get members of your committee to vote for your bill, attacking them and their integrity and their intelligence is probably not the way to get it done. So good to hear. So we'll keep on moving forward and supporting 1505.
Can I ask you how your testimony went this morning? How were you treated as you were testifying?
My staff.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, do you want to reopen item either 8 or 9 on your
'Cause that was-
agenda?
Yes, let's
Sorry, not
let's
comments in the
reopen item
committee. Thank you,
8.
Sam.
Let's
Sorry,
reopen-
Sam.
Comments are free to be made, but can't be
Sorry,
discussed.
Sam.
Let's look
Sorry
at
to be
items
the killjoy.
And I meant to ask him at that point.
I'm
and
going to open up
forgot.
items 8 or 9, depending on your sheet.
Okay, depending. Yes.
Depending.
So how did your testimony go this morning?
So my staff kept on saying to me, don't get angry, don't get upset. And I thought, why are you telling me that? And then I realized when I walked in and I thought, oh, I might get angry and I might get upset. It was fine. One of the committee members made the statement that Queen Creek, Avondale, and Buckeye don't use public transit. And then the next person to speak was me. I'm like, we absolutely use public transit. And we got into a discussion about light rail, and they tried to kind of change what I said, but I thought it was pretty effective. No, I didn't hear any audible gasps from the people behind me, which were Nathan. So I think it was good. I obviously it did what we wanted it to do, but the fight still goes on. And then, I think the changes that we've made today and with Eric's leadership over the next few months, helping transition, I think will help us get where we need to be. I think the road is done. I think we still have a long way to go.
Thank
That's
you for
awesome.
testifying.
Thanks. All right.
And I just want to say publicly to Eric, thank you for all of
Yes.
your amazing leadership.
Yeah,
We-
the first time that we had a chance to.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think we've tried to say it privately as well, but a credible regional transportation plan with communities with very different needs and really taking it to the next level on economic development, international relationships,
Mm.
standing up for those who have the least resources, domestic violence. This month, we're leading on dating awareness, dating violence awareness, teen dating.
Yep.
And just, the breadth of what we are doing. When I talk to people in other jurisdictions, they say, wait a second, you get along with your planning organization? And absolutely we do. I think we have great relationships with our member agencies. So thank you for all you have accomplished. I know you are not, this is not,
Right.
but I think we can continue to acknowledge your great work, noting that you are still in the middle of it and you may have to go down to the legislature shortly. So
Thank you.
want to acknowledge it along the way.
And for everyone in MAG, staff, everyone who's been a part of this, I know it's sad, and I know we have a few months left, but Eric and I have had very open and honest conversations, and it's always been a matter of respect. And I wanted to make sure that Eric is recognized for the work that you've done, but also the staff and the team that you've built, which is pretty incredible. And I would argue probably one of the most talented organizations of its kind in the nation. And I don't think that should go unnoticed. So, we'll save the cake for sometime in July, but we'll keep on pushing forward. But thank you.
Thank you.
We are adjourned.